Spider-Man 2 is an amazing game. That is something I believe everybody who plays it can agree on. Insomniac Games have came out though and said, hey, just so you guys are clear, Miles is going to be taking the Spider-Man mantle for future installments of, I guess, if maybe they make a Spider-Man 3. Is this fine? Yes. I think what they did with Miles' character throughout Miles Morales and Spider-Man 2 kind of made it seem like Miles is more for the city and he actually cares about being Spider-Man. They also made his gameplay very, how do you say, different than Peter's, right? Peter's was a little bit unlike, he had like the, like his first like technical moves, but those were honestly just fillers until you get the symbiote moves that are way better. But Miles' Venom, evolving with Martin Lee, spoilers, was really fun. The thing that I want to talk about though is the problem with Miles becoming Spider-Man, or the main Spider-Man, is that in this universe, Miles doesn't have his own villains. As weird as that may sound, throughout Miles's own universe, of course, he has his own villains, but in this universe, the Insomniac universe, all of these villains are Peter's villains. And even in the story, they remain Peter's villains. So if you have not finished the story or all the side quests, 100% of the game, you can go watch that series if you don't have a PlayStation 5. But just now, spoilers ahead. So throughout the story, you find, you work with Yuri on a group of side quests called The Flame. At the end of those side quests, you figure out that Carnage is coming to the game. They said, Ketis Cassidy, he's coming to the game. He has a symbiote. But in that story, they name Peter as the main person, like the Flamebringer. I can't remember the term exactly, but like the Flamebringer is Peter Parker, or, maybe him as Spider-Man. It's not Miles, right? So and then that whole thing ended with Yuri and Peter and now Carnage. So if Miles takes up the mantle, that side quest is going to feel unfulfilled, right? It's gonna feel weird that you do this entire quest as Peter and then now Miles is the main Spider-Man. So I think in the DLCs you're still gonna be able to play as Peter. Hopefully. Most likely, I think Spider-Man 3 might be a Miles Morales original, hopefully better than his costume. But I think in the DLCs you're still gonna play as Peter. I don't think he's fully retired yet. The other issue, which I believe is a more concerning issue, is we're getting Green Goblin, right? They hinted at the end, bring me Serum G. We're getting Green Goblin. Green Goblin and Peter Parker, that's Batman and Joker levels right there, right? That is peak Spider-Man villain. Just how Spider-Man Doc Ock, Spider-Man Venom, like these are peak Spider-Man villains. Like Miles taking the mantle of Spider-Man before we get to resolve Peter's main villains doesn't seem good, right? Miles had a Tinkerer in his game, which is whatever. Miles was kind of just fighting a depressed, like his depressed best friend, which I guess most superhero villains turn out to just be like depressed friends. And look what happened with Harry. But I believe that they should definitely wait to announce something like this until the end of Spider-Man 2. I think not concluding Green Goblin, not concluding Carnage. I think there's going to be probably 3 DLCs because the last one had 3 DLCs. You do Carnage first DLC, Peter Miles going after Carnage. Peter also has the anti-venom suit, which is strong against symbiotes. But I guess Miles kind of has like the negative energy within him as well, which can work against symbiotes. But they kind of hinted that Peter has the anti-symbiote tools. Then you get Green Goblin. Green Goblin might be a DLC. I hope Green Goblin is his own game. But if Green Goblin is his own game, and Miles Morales is the main Spider-Man, then that's gonna feel super out of whack. So maybe they have to demote him to just a DLC, which would also be super out of whack. So that's like 2 DLCs right there, right? We got Carnage, we got Green Goblin. Now the third DLC, that is when you have Miles take over as Spider-Man. I think doing it at the end of the main original story, which once again, I assume there's gonna be DLCs because AAA publishers love money. And with how much positive feedback Spider-Man 2 got, not having DLC would just be a shot in the foot. Yeah, so that's what I think, right? Miles is not a bad Spider-Man. It's that Miles is, if we're being honest, Miles is just in Peter's shadow because Peter is Spider-Man. Hot take? No, Peter is Spider-Man, right? They also showed at the end of the story mode, they showed what was her name? Cassie? No, it wasn't Cassie. They showed Silk. I forget Silk's real name, right? But they show a third Spider-Man, right? So they got 3 Spider-Man now that they're going to be in the game. So maybe the DLCs take place with Silk, and then they evolve into what the hell she's doing here in the multiverse, and then maybe Spider-Man 3, they go multiverse, Peter stays in New York, and then Miles does multiverse shit. Or the opposite, Miles stays in New York, and then Peter goes and does multiverse stuff, because in the Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, you see that Insomniac Peter is a part of the Spider-Force, recruited by Miguel. And then also when you collect all of these spider bots, you get that special cutscene of that bartender lady being like, which I don't think is Madam Web, being like, oh, by the way, if you'll talk to Miguel will reach out. So I mean, there's so much stuff that's like uncovered within the game. I'm burpy. Ooh. That I don't think right now is a good time for Miles to take the mantle. That makes sense. I think they could wait. There's nothing wrong with Miles being the main Spider-Man. It's just not his time right now. Like we got 1 game with Peter, we got 1 game with Miles, and then we got 1 game with both of them. There's been no huge dynamic, right, leading the fans per se to be like, okay, this is a good, like, football hike passes the running back. No, right now we're doing a field goal, right? We're still doing a field goal, right? With Spider-Man 2. Now we gotta do kickoff with the DLCs. Then we get to first down, and then we hand the ball off. But right now it's like we just scored a touchdown, we're at field goal, and they hand the ball to Miles Morales. It was very poor timing. I think they should definitely wait. Tell me what you think. Comment down below. Leave a like if you think I'm wrong. I think they should have waited. And I'll see y'all again in the next video. See ya.